We are a little bit early, but I saw some people hanging out in the chat, and I just wanted to jump in as soon as I was ready. So it's great to see all of you. Happy New Year's. We are entering what should be the most incredible year for digital assets, hands down, and I'm excited. I was putting together some content today, last few days, about tokenization, about the timeline, and man, I'm so excited about what's to come this year. And man, just thankful to be on this journey with all you guys. Just really, really thankful. AK Scarface, great. AK Scarface, great to see you, man. Happy New Year's to you. We got Gene Mark, great to see you. What's up, Harry PQ or Harry Q? Nice little pump. But let's not get too excited. Hey, man, we got to take the wins when we get them, right? It's pumping. I think, people might have been selling, before the end of the year, whatever that was, to get ready for taxes, or who knows. But institutions keep buying through ETFs, and man, I'm getting really bullish on this year. Generally wondering how people stay so excited when XRP has been in the dumps for years. I want to have hope and faith like y'all, but it's difficult right now. James, I understand that, man. And I think this is a little bit based off of, people's timelines and expectations. Me personally, I'm a little disappointed too. Like I thought XRP realistically could get to like $10. I think I was talking about anywhere between 10 and 20 for the end of the year. And I really thought that was going to be possible. And, we just did not get that end of the year kind of pump, end of the year 4 cycle type situation that we normally would get. And it does feel like this market is extended into 2026, which is a 5-year cycle. And is it frustrating? 100%. I'm with you, man. Is it disappointing? Yes, it is. But I think there's just so many things to be thankful for, to look forward to, and it sucks. But if we can get past this feeling that we feel right now of nothing happening and not going anywhere, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised this year, because you're going to get real institutional adoption, and we're on the cusp of regulation. And I know we talk about it a lot, but when you have crypto regulation and stablecoin regulation, and you have all of the regulators on board with pushing a friendly crypto atmosphere here in the United States for innovation and growth, man, there's so many things to be thankful and bullish for. I mean, it was an incredible year. So many things happened, right? And all of that work that the communities put in, that Ripple has put in, the XRP Ledger developers have put in, all of that work will come to fruition in 2026. So, whatever you need to do to lift up your spirits, maybe disconnect from the market for a little bit, that might be healthy for you, James. And I get that, man. But you got to stay strong, man. And you got to know that we are inching ever so close to where we need to be, man. All right. Thank you for being here. Peter O'Neill, great to see you, Peter. What's up, my friend? Great to see you. Let's see here. We got Max. Oh, here, I forgot about Paul. Paul, what's up, my man? How you doing? I hope your dad's doing better, Paul. Thoughts and prayers always go out to you and your family, Paul. If anything happens like government shutdown, Clarity Act will be delayed. Yes, absolutely, Mad Max. If in fact we do another shutdown, that could delay it, obviously. Yeah. And hopefully that doesn't happen. Hard to know, man. Really hard to know, bro. But thank you for being here. It's LAX, right? LAX, good to see you, man. Karma, Happy New Year. We got Mr. Gary O'Neill. Happy New Year, Gary. Man, we got a bunch of people here. Wayne's here. I like this here. Mr. Rain says, winning. Love to hear that. Do you think we'll drop below 190? Hey, man, anything's possible. Anything's possible, man. Anything's possible. Great to see you, Krillix TV. What's up? What's up? Yeah, here, Wayne Smith says, don't be disappointed. It's coming. We own 2026. We own it. I mean, I like that. That is some forward thinking momentum, and man, 26, guys. Listen, the last few days, I tried to take a little time off on New Year's Day, but I also was, I was sitting my wife and I went to go see Stranger Things. They had it in the movie theater, like the final, the movie part of it. And I'm not going to say anything about it because I don't, some people might not have watched it yet. I don't want to have any spoilers, But in that movie, there was a couple next to us, and the couple brought like this maybe 4-year-old kid with them. And during the whole movie, the kid was talking, and I get distracted very easily. Like when I'm in a movie, I want to focus on the movie, and when people are talking next to me, I get very distracted. And in that moment, instead of being frustrated with the kid and stuff like that, my mind is just racing, right? And then instead of watching the movie, I'm thinking about tokenization. I'm thinking about 26. I'm thinking about what it means for my holdings. And I came home and I sat there for the next 4 hours and I built out a video that I recorded earlier today. It'll come out tomorrow. But if you go watch that video, you will understand why it's so important that 2026 is going to be our year. And man, I can't be more bullish. I can't be more bullish. Let's see here. We got Antonio Fernandez. Hello from sunny California. Great to see you, Antonio. Yeah. Is it going to be 10K tomorrow? No, unfortunately, it's not going to be 10K tomorrow, but I appreciate the question. You suck. You know, that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. We all want to see it, and we believe one day XRP could get to those prices. It's just going to take a lot of time, man. You know, realistically, I thought maybe $1,000 by 2030, and maybe, you know, if something really does kick off where you need XRP as this like liquidity layer for the new financial system, maybe something could happen sooner. But it's still, you know, I still think it's going to take some time, man. Let's see here. Ferrari just joined Algorand. Like to see Lamborghini join XRP. That's really cool, man. I mean, you're going to see a lot of companies making moves, especially in 26, especially with regulation, you know, coming, especially here in the United States and globally. A lot of companies and corporations are going to find ways to connect with that, you know, with this crypto audience, right? Because this is where all of the growth is going to be over the next 5 to 10 years. Think about the trillions of dollars in investment into blockchain infrastructure that's going to happen. Think about the 401ks and the IRAs and the sovereign wealth funds and the family offices and all that money that's going to be heading for our shores here just soon. I mean, it's really smart to position your brand to take advantage of that. And great to see that. Here, Glenn Glosson. I think it's disappointing that all XRP YouTubers attack Jake for being wrong. I believe he's just wrong on the timeline, but is on the target. All of you guys need to stick together and debate different opinions professionally and friendly. I appreciate and applaud you for not doing that. Happy New Year's. Yeah, Glenn, you know that it's hard, right? You know, because I agree with him on so many things, right? I don't agree on the timeline, right? And it's so hard to even joke about that stuff on X. Like I made a post saying I had a dream that XRP went to $100. I woke up and it didn't happen. And like people like were brutally abusive on that tweet. And like you can't even joke right now about someone being wrong about something like that, you know? And I think people, you know, and I can't speak for other influencers. I just didn't, you know, it's one thing to make the prediction, but it's also one thing to tell people that's 99.9% chance of happening. And like every chance that he had to walk it back, he didn't, right? And I do agree that we're going to see some type of price explosion. When? That's what we don't know, right? That's the exciting part, right? Because if we already knew, you know, everybody would just be piling in every more. People would be going to loan sharks to take out more money to put it into XRP. But that's the great thing about life is nobody truly knows what's going to happen. And there's all of these variables that no one person can know all those variables. And so, you know, it's unfortunate. And, you know, it's crazy. Like the last few days of the year and how all that stuff went down. Man, just it's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough for people. It's tough for, I'd imagine it's a tough moment for Jake right now. You know, it's a tough moment for Zach and other content creators who you know kind of said stuff. You know, it's really, I think people. Okay, let's back up here. Over the last few months, I think I've been pretty open and honest with some things that I saw going on in the background that I really didn't want to talk about or touch. I've told you it was a poison pill, right? Very poison pill. And I think now, if you watched the video that Zach put together, you can see why I wanted to stay away from it, right? And I don't know what's going to come from all of that, but it is dividing the community in half. And it now is the time that we really need to come together and bridge that gap. And I don't know how all of this is going to unfold, man, but you know, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's really tough. I watched both the videos Zach put out, and we're not going to talk about this for the whole stream, but I'll address kind of what I saw. I saw some poor decision making on Jake's part. Nobody truly is inside his head and understanding why he did some of the things that he did, but there are people that have millions of dollars invested with him. And it's important that those people know everything that's going on, right? If you have money with somebody that just recently went through some challenges in their life, specifically around money and things like that, people need to know that stuff, right? And now all of that stuff is out in the open. I don't know what's going to come from it, but I can tell you that I recorded a video that had Jake Claver in it like 2 days ago or something like that. And it came out the day after. Like, I recorded it before the Zach stuff. It came out after, and there was incredible amount of nasty comments in that video, so much that our moderators had to clean that up because, it was awful. And I want the community to understand that even when somebody makes a terrible decision, that it doesn't necessarily mean that they are a bad person. It means that they were going through something at the time that none of us understand. And the reason they made the decisions, we will never understand. But we shouldn't judge somebody on their weakest moments, right? Because there's so many great things that he does do for the community. But, there are going to be some more questions going forward about some of the actions that he decided to take, right? And I think people need to stop being so vindictive on both sides and understand that we all have a common goal here to learn and to grow and to be a community together. And it's very important right now that we don't attack each other taking sides of either side, right? Things were said, things are on the open. Everybody knows. Now we can move on, hopefully, and whatever needs to happen, whether that's an apology or addressing the community at large, I mean, it's going to have to happen regardless, right? So let's stop the infighting. Let's understand that people make screwed up decisions every day. I can tell you that I'm 41, and there's a lot of decisions that I've made in my life that I wish I had done it differently. Right? But that's life. You only get one opportunity in the moment to make a decision, and you shouldn't have to carry that with you for the rest of your life. I hope some of this blows over and we can all get back to what we love, which is owning this asset that we think is going to be a vital part of the financial future, right? And I don't know if I'm going to continue to cover, some of the stuff that Jake says, it's so valuable for people to hear. But there's also stuff that he says that is hurtful for the community to hear too. So how do I balance that as a content creator? I don't know, guys. I don't have a perfect answer for you, but I'm gonna try my best moving forward. I just hope if and when I do cover something about Jake, that you understand that it's me trying to cover this for the betterment of the XRP community, not propping up or trying to bash down a particular figure. All right. I hope that's fair. Yeah. See, like I get people's frustration here. I get that, man. I get that. I appreciate that, Dave. I appreciate that. You know what it is? It's me being inside the whole time and not being out in the sun too much. But I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I think there's going to be some need to forgive and forget here, and some people won't. Like some people, there's a line drawn in the sand, and it's done for those people. I totally understand it. I totally get it. And this is going to be a very tight rope that a lot of people balance and walk on. Yeah, I get it, guys. I understand. All right, let's do this. I do have some clips that I want to share with you. There is still a lot going on in the XRP space and in the tokenization space. There's new things always happening. I'm trying to cover and share with you guys. Late to the party, what were your predictions? My predictions for last year were $10 to $20 for XRP, which I was completely wrong, right? And that's easy for me to come out and say because I thought those were realistic projections. I was looking at people like Stephen McClure talking about $5 billion into XRP in the first 30 days. I figured that if we got some similar type of volume, $3 or $4 billion worth, that the price would have had to kind of come up some. But I was wrong about that. And I can sit out here and tell you guys that even somebody that studies every single piece of news coming out of the crypto space on all of this stuff, even I was not accurate in what I thought was going to happen. But I'm okay. I'm okay with being wrong. You know, I'll be wrong in the future. But this is why I don't give a million predictions, because there, you know, I've been in this crypto space for over 5 years, and all people do is make predictions, and 99% of those people, those predictions don't come true, and that's why it's hard, right? So, any updates on the Clarity Act passes? So no updates as of yet. I have seen some stuff from the crypto czar David Sachs saying that they're supposed to vote on it this month in January, and I think they understand how important this moment is and to get it right. And we want them to be able to get the language correct in the Clarity Act, because one like bad sentence or one bad paragraph in the Clarity Act could be catastrophic for the market. And it's really important to meet with the Brian Armstrongs, the Brad Garlinghouses, the heads of the crypto industry here in the United States to make sure that those things don't end up in the bill that could cause real damage. Yeah, the shutdown might have messed up some of the prices. That really didn't help out too well. Tazzer says 2,300 in quarter one. Damn, Tazzer. All right. Yeah, Tom Lee has made some crazy predictions too, man. Tom Lee. Did you see the one I played the other day? 63 grand for ETH. Oh, that was pretty crazy. Oh, man. We are back above $2, guys. All right. Chipper, great to see you. Ariana, great to see you. Fred, great to see you. Husky Tom, great to see you, man. Husky, I hope your Bears win this week. At least they're not playing my team, so I can root for the Bears this week. Guys, do me a favor. If you're just now joining us, can you hit like on the stream? And if you're on X, if you want to retweet out the stream, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you. All right, so there are a few things we should talk about here. One of the most important clips that I want to play is this one. And I played this in a video, but I feel it's important enough to replay. Actually, this is not the longer one, huh? Let's play this one. All right, here you go. Crypto market structure bill is significant in impact. Explain in under 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Let's get it.
Genius unlocked stablecoins for banks. Genius plus market structure will unlock stablecoins for any company that believes it has a strong enough ecosystem to keep individuals on their economic platform via stablecoin. That's super, super exciting. It changes the game in terms of how you would engage with that brand. It allows for really interesting rewards programs and increases connective tissue between the customer and the company. How will market structure change things for every company? It's the equivalent to the unlock that the Genius Bill gave to stablecoins. So as you correctly pointed out, since that Genius Bill has been absorbed and thought through and people understand how to comply with it, we are seeing just the tip of the iceberg on stablecoin launches. It's an incredibly exciting place to be, right? From a very basic perspective, it's a profitable business. It allows you to transact more closely with your customer to control and own that relationship. There's data embedded in those transactions that's valuable to companies. And individuals prefer the speed, transparency, and rewards incentives that stablecoins can offer. So if you're a company that thinks you have a captive ecosystem, so the example, I teach a class on this at MIT and Columbia universities, and the example I always give is Amazon. Is if you wake up tomorrow and you're told you can only transact on an Amazon-based token or stablecoin or some equivalent, and the friction associated with the transaction is 1 penny, meaning it costs $1 to get $1 of Amazon stablecoin. I asked people in the class, how many of you continue to use Amazon? And almost everyone raises their hand because it's super convenient company to use. And I'll say, what about 5 cents, 10 cents, 15 cents? And it's only at around 9 to 10 cents that people start to say, maybe I won't use Amazon. And so the point being is that companies that believe they have really, really strong brands and really captive ecosystems, think like Disney, Netflix, Amazon, are going to start to experiment with stablecoins. Genius unlocked stablecoins for banks. Genius plus market structure will unlock stablecoins for any company that believes it has a strong enough ecosystem to keep individuals on their economic platform via stablecoin. That's super, super exciting. It changes the game in terms of how you would engage with that brand. It allows for really interesting rewards programs and increases connective tissue between the customer and the company.
See, like this is the part, guys. I don't think people realize that every large corporation is going to have a crypto strategy. Here it comes. Whether that's buying the asset directly and holding it, or whether that is buying the asset and putting it to use. That is what we haven't yet experienced, right? We've seen some companies saying we're going to do 100 million here, to a few hundred million there, 5 million there. 2 billion so far has been what certain companies have said that they're going to invest into XRP. Once you get that regulation passed, that number could be 10, 50, 100 billion, right? That is where things are going to get unlocked that people don't even realize yet. See, the crazy part is you have so much XRP on exchanges right now. Every single day for the last 6.5 to 7 weeks, every day XRP has been taken out of circulation and put into these ETFs in cold storage. Why don't you have 7 months of that? Or in fact, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. Wait till the next 500 million people wake up and like, oh, I have a crypto wallet on my phone now. I can send my friend anything just by his phone number, right? That is when you unlock mass adoption. When people don't even realize you're using the technology. That is what I am waiting for. That is what is in store for 2026. Powerful, man. So powerful. It's just crazy, man. Brad Garlinghouse. So like, yeah, I saw him, Glenn Powell and Miles Teller. I saw him on a yacht. I didn't know who those people were though. Is that his wife too? Where's that picture? Do I have that picture anywhere? Shoot. I don't know if I have. I was working on a video earlier that had, hold on. I might have it. Yep, I got it. All right, let's pull it up. Let's pull it up, y'all. All right, here we go. Who is this? Is this Brad's wife? I don't know who this is. Wait. Ring finger? No, that's not his wife. No wedding ring. All right. I don't know who that is. But they highlighted this person. I don't know who she is. But here's Brad. And these people are on some kind of yacht. I don't know, man. He's dancing on a couch. Yeah, I don't know, man. Big Kahuna checking in. Back to paradise from New Jersey. Holiday visit. We absolutely need the Clarity Act to pass before the next shutdown. Nice price movement today. We need many more days like this, man. Great to have you back. I hope you had a safe and prosperous trip. How was your guys' New Year, man? What'd y'all do? Anybody have a really cool story that they want to share? Is that Brad's yacht? I don't know if Brad has a yacht, man. I don't know. I don't follow Brad Garlinghouse's like personal life. I don't know. It doesn't do me any good to be like, oh, what kind of car does he drive? Where does he live? You know, that's a little, I think that crosses a line there of like healthy I idolize this person for doing so much for the space and for Ripple and XRP, but there's like a line that I just don't cross, and like I just don't have the time to go through all that stuff. Sensei, you're gonna wear silk shirts like Brad? Hey man, maybe that I think I'd look good in some silk shirts. Sold a lot of chicken tenders. Well, hey, you're working, you're making some money. That's the important thing. Do you think Canton Coin is competing with XRP or complementary to XRP? Realistically, it's competing with it. So right now, I don't know of any connection from Canton to the XRP ledger. Crypto Erie did put out something like a prediction that she thinks through SPI being a super validator that you could connect XRP through that. But Canton is, I've been highlighting a few things with Canton recently in content. And I think that's probably going to continue to do well in 26, realistically. They're burning the token. What I don't like about Canton is the way that they rolled out the token. Early days of the Canton token, the only people that could get it were like institutions and insiders. And now they're bringing in retail because they need the liquidity. So, I just don't like how that was rolled out. DTCC does control, I think, the board of Canton. So it's really kind of their company, I think. But yeah, I think they're competing, truthfully. At least that's how I understand it. Glossy, great to see you, man. I hope you're well. Next year, I'm trying to come to Hawaii for New Year's. Oh, that'd be cool, man. Love to see you. Yeah. So Thais and I were in bed. So there's a lot of fireworks that get set off, a lot of like booms, loud booms, and it scares Luna. And so Luna like panics. And the last maybe few years, we've been kind of staying home with her because we don't want her to kind of go through that by herself. And so, we have our rituals that we do on New Year's, and we just kind of have a easy night and try to be there for Luna. Yeah, it is interesting to see who Brad's rubbing shoulders with. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Happy New Year. So Barry says, Happy New Year's. Great content most times. Hey, fair enough, Barry. I like how you call it. Do you think SHX is going places, and how did the ETF do today? So 20 million in ETF volume today for XRP, if that's the question for that. SHX, Stronghold, I do think they have a lot of good things going for them. Probably undervalued for the use case that they're solving. I just think that they've had maybe they don't have it as easy as some of like the bigger assets like XRP, XLM, ADA with the big communities, right? But I think they're going to get there, man. It takes some time to develop all of that. So Robert Pellegrino says, hey, happy New Year, Sensei. I think XRP will start to break away from Bitcoin soon, my friend. I think so too, man. It can't always be in Bitcoin shadow. And like people don't understand this, right? Like, and this is a conversation that Bitcoin maxis will tell you that it's always going to be Bitcoin number one, and nothing will be able to ever compete with it. But we're really entering a phase of the market where it's not going to be built on speculation, but built on utility and how much value can be transacted on that. And we know Bitcoin is not a network that institutions are interested in using day to day. And so, there's only so much money that'll go into Bitcoin, whether there's an infinite amount of money that you can tokenize and put on a blockchain and start processing that value. So, sooner than later, I would imagine. Yeah, we can talk about this, RC. Can you explain why over billions of inflows from the ETF didn't affect the price? Yeah, absolutely. So if you're not familiar with how this works, is there are OTC desks. OTC stands for over the counter. And this is where a lot of I played a clip from the CIO of Bitwise, Matt Hugon. He explained that if they want to buy $100 million worth of XRP, they'll go to these OTC desks and say, I want to buy 100 million. What's your best price? The OTC desks will send them the best price, and then who they want to work with, they'll negotiate a little bit, maybe a cent or 2 cents per token, and get that deal. And so all of these transactions happen off chain, like they happen, not in public order books. So it doesn't affect the price. So if you have a large sell of like 100 million or 500 million, it won't tank the price. But on the other side, if you have large buys of XRP, it doesn't show up in the price. Now, there's only so much XRP on OTC desks, and the goal here is to eventually go through all of that, where they're forced to go to public exchanges and buy it from public exchanges. And then once public and OTC desks are out, that's really when price has to follow. So I hope that helps you better understand the OTC market, man. It's you know, you can feel both ways on it, but it is what it is, man. Let's see here. Barther, Canton Network does not have settlement from what I understand. Also, I think that Canton was developed so that the walled garden network, like big banks, can still exist. Yeah, so currently, since there's not regulation, Canton was kind of built on existing rules and laws, and so it works, right? It doesn't, from what I understand, have a settlement, but it's still not connected to, like, let's say the XRP ledger. So XRP ledger would not be a choice of settlement right now for Canton. Canton can probably settle in stable coins and other things, but I'm definitely not any type of expert on Canton. So really not the right person to ask. I'll try to drum up and do some more due diligence to better understand that. But, you know, point well made. Thank you. But the question before was, does it compete with the XRP ledger? And so because there is tokenized value of, you know, I think they have like $380 billion in tokenized value on Canton. That is a direct competitor in that space, right? And so they're working on tokenized treasuries and other things. So no, I played the clip, man. Let me see if I can find it, and we can put this to bed. Wait, do I have the clip? No, wait. When did I make that video? Hold on. I need his name here. Let's see if we can find this together. Let's see how I'll show you how I would find this. So I need his name here. And so we're going to go to Twitter. We're going to search his name, and we're going to plus ETF. And we're going to hope we can see the clip. No, that's not it. Here it is. This is the clip.
That question all the time.
No, it's a great question. So we do all of our buying OTC. The way it works is if we get, let's say, $100 million into our ETF, we go out to 7 major institutional market makers: Jane Street, Susquehanna, Goldman Sachs, Macquarie Bank, the big guys. And we say, give us your best price on $100 million XRP. And they'll all come back with prices. And then we'll call them up and say, Jane is, you know, 3 cents wide. Can you do 2 cents wide? And we'll drive the price down as low as we can. We'll put them in, and then we'll execute. Now, what happens behind the scenes?
Now, they didn't upload the full clip, so I can't tell you what he says after that, but there you go. I know where to find it, guys. Like, this is my whole life at this point. You tell me a clip, and I will be able to locate it for you pretty quickly. You know, when you put together as much content as I do on a daily basis, you start to remember where things are and how to find it. So let's see here. Fun Bro says, if and when BlackRock gets on board with XRP, how much does it affect the ETF market? What percentage do they represent? So that's a great question. So right now they don't represent any portion of it, right? The question I think you're trying to ask here is, how much XRP would they need to seed their ETF? And the question is probably around $2 to $500 million worth of XRP. So probably like 100 to 200 million XRP is how much they would need to seed it. You've seen other ETFs seed with about $100 million in XRP, but since BlackRock is so big, they would need a sizable amount. Now, have they already secured that XRP through Ripple, let's say? We don't know, right? Or would they have to come and figure out a way to get that XRP? I would imagine that they probably have some type of deal. I mean, they're the largest financial institution on the planet. So if they wanted to, let's say, buy a wallet, an escrowed wallet from Ripple, I'd imagine Ripple would do what they ask, right, at a reasonable price. So not saying that has happened. We don't know, but that's how, like, the only way to do it is go to Ripple through either on-demand liquidity or make a deal directly for a wallet through the escrow. And what unlock does that have? And you know, I don't know how that would work out. Or they would need to secure it through OTC desks, or They've already secured it. We just don't know of those three possibilities. But there you go. Why is Paul Hogan so reluctant to mention XRP? Yeah, man. Paul Hogan. Wait. Matt, is it Matt Hulon? Is that who you're talking about? Are you talking about this guy? Matt Hugon? I think you're talking about Matt Hugon. I think that's what you're talking about. Big Kahuna. Yeah, Matt. Yeah, that's what you're talking about. I don't know. But I brought that up in many videos. I don't know why. He'd rather talk about Ethereum and Solana. You know, maybe that's just what he prefers. And, you know, everybody has the you know, I'd imagine there's more business with Ethereum and Solana. So that's what he mentions, right? You know, you talk your book. That's your book. So you can't like knock him for, like, that's his job to talk up their products, and their biggest products are those. Yeah, guys, we're not going to have a conversation about Jake's predictions and that stuff. I'm not interested in that at all at this point. So we can be couch quarterbacks of what he meant or what this. I don't care at this point. So we're just going to leave that in the you know, if you want to keep talking about it, mentioning it, I'm not going to bring it up. I just want to address that, so you guys don't need to go back and forth in the chat. There's just no interest in continuing to talk about this at all at this point. All right. Input on silver. You know, so from what I understand, and I'm not a silver expert, so please take anything I'm saying with that understanding that I'm not an expert on silver. From what I understand is that China produces a lot of silver, and silver is in almost everything that we use, right? Some kind of components to do with silver. And if they are tightening up the market, it makes silver a lot harder to get globally. And I think that is why you saw such a drastic price rise for silver. Now, there could be 100 other things that are also happening. That's just from what I understand in my limited knowledge around silver. So just please take that with what you will. Jamie with a 1999 super sticker. Thank you so much, Jamie. I really, really appreciate you. Steve in crypto. What's up, dude? How you doing? Let's see here. Mexico is '1 silver after China. Well, that's good to know. I mean, US-Mexico relations haven't been too great over the last, 2025. I don't know if that's going to impact at all, but I do know silver goes into a lot of things, and that could impact. I appreciate you, Nano. Thank you so much. Thank you for the $4.99. I'll make sure that Luna gets some good treats from you. So happy New Year. Thank you. Am I sponsored by Ripple? God, that would be incredible, man. No, I am not sponsored by Ripple, but I would love to be paid by Ripple to do what I do. Oh, could you imagine? That would be like a dream, man. Nope. I've never even had a good conversation with people at Ripple. One of their community people reached out and asked if I could try to set up a meeting with me, missed both meetings, and then I kind of just got a little disappointed and kind of gave up on that. So no, man, I wish that would be really, really incredible. And you asked me to be honest. I'm honest about everything, even when it doesn't suit me. You can read me like a book. I'm not here to misguide you in any way. I'm going to tell you what's in my heart and on my mind all the time. And I hope that's good enough for you. And some things you're not going to agree with, and some things I hope you'll learn. And that's all I can do as a person trying to make crypto content. So Yeah, did you guys see the 589 with the bulbs and stuff like that and all that? Like there was just so much conspiracy stuff towards the end of the year there. It was hard to balance. Fiesta, happy New Year, Sensei. Blessings to you and your family and your crypto. Thank you so much, man. You too. I hope you have a fantastic 2026, man. I'll be rooting for you. Heathen Sense has some good information here. It says silver and gold used in computing hardware with a huge influx of AI infrastructure and data centers. There you go. Requiring more power and hardware, raw materials get bought up like crazy. Even RAM has skyrocketed. That's a really good piece of information, man. Thank you so much for sharing that. Sensei, look at XRP Bitcoin chart. The storm is upon us. Happy New Year. I'll have to take a look at that, man. I'm definitely not a charting expert. But I'll have to take a look at that and see if I can make sense of it. All right, let's do this. I got a few other things I want to show you guys since you are here for some news. Let's see here. All right. So I think this is going to happen a lot sooner than 2035, but here you go. This is a good clip.
So I'm the one here that thinks it's going to be 10 years, not 20. I always push that faster. And I look at what's happened with stablecoins since Genius, which was in July. That just happened in July. And we already see these ridiculous numbers about on-chain activity. So for me, by 2035, not only will all payments be digital asset payments in some way or another, but folks won't even know it's happening. It's like, the easiest way to think of it is folks don't think of how they can possibly make a cell phone call today or how you send a text message. You just do it. No one's wondering what that technology is or how do you build that? No one today, everybody wonders about crypto. How does this work? Why is this working? Is it safe? It's scary. This is a scary thing. But once you start to educate folks and they learn about the technology, how much faster it is, how more inclusive it is, how much safer it is, the privacy protection features this, which we haven't even talked about, every bit of it is better. Consumers won't even know as the UX gets better. Consumers won't even know it's happening. It's going to be as easy or easier than their current payment flow. It'll be faster. It'll just work. And it's going to be better. It already is better. It's just not fully adopted yet. And it will be. So by 2035, I think it's completely taken over payments.
All right, guys. I honestly think it'll happen sooner than that, but I still thought that was a really good clip I wanted to show you guys. All right, let me see what else I got here for you. Did you guys see this clip here? Did you see that this post was deleted? Yuto, this is like a Japan. They say that this person's a Bank of Japan insider, and so he had a post here that was deleted after it was posted. It says identity and authentication infrastructure is the missing component and built on top of the XRP ledger's identity stack. This approach has been carefully considered with plans to first introduce and test it in developing markets, then transition it to large scale deployment. So, man, that could be interesting too. I'm interested to see what are some of the announcements that come. I do want to put out a prediction here. Like I do think that I don't know if we'll see it this year, but in my personal opinion, I do think that you will see other Ripple banks launching in other places of the world. I don't think the United States is the only place Ripple is interested in becoming a bank. And I think you could look at maybe Japan or the EU as maybe possibilities for Ripple's future. I don't know, man. I think I can't say for sure, but you got to imagine there's some really smart people working for that company that are in a room talking about all of these different possibilities. And I would imagine this has been one of the things that have been brought up. And I just wouldn't bet against them doing that. What are my thoughts on escrow note? Escrow note. Escrow note. Are we just talking about escrow? I don't understand the term escrow note. Maybe you can give me a little bit more context on escrow note. I've never heard escrow or something talk about escrow note. Ripple Australia. Yeah, like if Ripple really wants to be like an IMF of the world, they're probably going to have other locations. So we'll have to see, man. It's just something that I've been thinking about a lot recently. And I wouldn't bet against them, man. Let's see here. Glenn says, I remember you discussing when SBICO said $10 XRP when Japan's banks went live on the XRP ledger. Is that happening now? So there are a big consortium of banks in Japan, and they are connected to the XRP ledger. I don't know what those specific banks are doing. I don't have any contacts in individually those banks, so I couldn't tell you yes or no if that's happening. It's a note at the bottom of the escrow release thanking investors and helping Ripple shareholders. Let's see if we can find what you're talking about. Yeah, see, like I haven't seen the memo. Is that what you're talking about? Memo? Maybe you're talking about the memo field. I don't know. I haven't seen many people talking about that. So maybe that's something that will start popping up on my feed and I'll take a look at. See here, Heathen Sen says, would be nice as Aussies always seem to be lagging behind most of the world. Only seems to be NAB that seems to have anything to do with the XRP ledger at this point. I think that's just like, how's regulation in Australia? I don't know. Like, do you guys already have it? I think part of it is banks compete against each other. And for a while, banks haven't had to compete against other banks that have access to Ripple's tech stack or the circles of the world or things like that, right? Or Stellars. Now that you're getting this regulation piece in the United States and US banks will have access to these things, it does put pressure on other places of the world to compete at scale with those banks. So, I think Ripple is perfectly positioned to take advantage of this, change in our financial system. It'll be interesting to see, who decides to work with them and who decides to work with other people, right? Yeah, Justin's, if you can find it, maybe like send it to me, man. I'd appreciate it. Yeah, guys, I did address the whole Jake situation earlier in the stream. Go back and listen to that. It's within maybe the first 5 minutes of the stream. We're not going to keep bringing it up. But I appreciate you. I understand that it's a topic that people want to talk about. We're not going to keep talking about it. All right. It's not healthy for me. It's not healthy for the community. People are on total opposite sides, and it's been making me like sick inside to see all of the hate, from both sides of people, and it's not good for the community. So we're not going to discuss anymore. Japan, let's see here. Bikuna says Japan, South Korea, UAE, Africa are ahead of the US in XRP adoption. So we need Clarity Act to pass like yesterday to catch up. So we still know that, right? Even when Trump signs that bill into law, it's still going to take some time to get all the rulemaking done. But at least we will be in a position where financial institutions can dip their toes in without, knowing kind of what the guardrails are there. It's going to be very important. So, I have seen a lot of things happening in Africa and the UAE, and it's great to see that, man. Yeah, Tom, I saw that, man. Thank you. It's so hard, man. Like, even when I'm making a joke about it, people are not happy when I make a joke about it. So I'm just not gonna address it anymore, But I did see it, Tom. Thank you, man. But it also Web3 is a scam. Beware. You're joking, right? You got to be joking. But Tom, yeah, like, it's a touchy subject. I don't think I've ever seen a subject so like, yeah, crazy. Yeah, keep your wallet firmware up to date. That's a great comment there. Thank you for saying that. Tyler, we don't know, man. we assume, we hope, we pray, we dream, right? We think about this a lot. We don't know, right? And that's the uncomfortable part, right? You are investing into something that you don't know how it's going to turn out. And I get that's uncomfortable for people, right? And you know, we have no control over how long this is going to take, but I'm excited, man. You know, I'm excited. There's a lot of incredible things happening in the crypto market. And yes, it is worse than politics. Yes, the whole Jake thing is worse than politics. Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't think there could be a more polarizing thing than politics, but holy shit, we found something. Huh. Wow. It's crazy. What do you think about the AMP token and FlexPay? I don't know what that is, Nano. Sorry. I really don't. Is the AMP token something that was like a scam back in the day or something? It sounds familiar. Great. Planets, thank you for this, Planets. Thank you. We are trying to move our lives past it. So thank you. You know what? I'm gonna have like there's gonna be a board on my wall, and the board is gonna say topics you must avoid. And the first thing will be politics. The second thing will be Jake Claver. And I don't know what the third thing will be, but those two, as it is, we're just gonna stay away from these topics. Oh, but what I was gonna say though, you know, when you're online, okay, and this is something that I think everybody needs to understand, okay? When you're online, especially on places like X, there are ways that people can pay to have bots do messaging, okay? And when you see a lot of messages kind of all sounding very similar to each other, start clicking on those accounts and seeing if there's any following there. You're going to notice a very weird trend. I think there's been a lot of content creators of late that have been paying for positive traction. Just want to put that note out there. My team has been looking into that, and we have looked at some very questionable practices, if you would say. But I guess that is social media, right? That is people taking shortcuts, and just got to be careful of like who you're listening to online and like who is really behind the messaging there, right? MasterCard style. So yeah, now rejecting Jay Claver. You need a MasterCard style sign of saying now rejecting Jay Claver. Oh, guys. Yeah, man. I just want to get past all this, man. You know, I think this has been a very stressful time for all of us. And, you know, I think people are just focused on the wrong thing right now. And there's so many good things happening, right? Like getting in the crypto market in 2020, there, the market was a mess, right? Like you could throw money at just things with no value and still make money, but like that's changed, right? And I think people need to understand that most crypto projects that you see today, like top 20,000, most of that won't be here in the next few years. Regulation is going to kill a lot of that stuff. If you cannot fall within the regulatory perimeter of a certain country, especially the size of the United States, you got nothing, right? And most of that is like empty promises, no communities, and so just, I'm really focused on the things that I still think will be here in 5 or 10 years. And I think people should, start to focus on that stuff too. Deep Dave says he's not a bot. Love that. So Roscoe, really quickly, since you seem to be wanting to talk about this, that's what the community is talking about. That is what the community is talking about. So if I'm going to make content about XRP and that's what people are talking about, I need to cover it, right? And I guess, your personal feelings about this certain subject, it doesn't really mean anything to me, right? Because I know there's a bigger community that wants my opinion on these things. And I'm going to give my opinion because this is the channel that I've built, right? I can't just think about what does Roscoe want, right? Because there's 130,000 other subscribers that want something totally different, right? So I'm going to cover what I think needs to be covered, and I'm not going to apologize or ask your permission for it. All right? Thank you, man. Appreciate you. All right. Let's keep it going here. There's a few other things I want to talk to you guys about. So did you guys see this part that Ripple changed their bio on X to we're building out the internet of value? So check it out. If you go to Ripple and you look up their YouTube, I mean, it's not their YouTube, their X here, we're building the internet of value. That is pretty sexy. They just changed that. And of course, we did see a lot of buying, right? ETFs are up right now. It's great to see. And then here's some of the biggest gainers, right? Canton Network, guys. I do think over the next few months, you're going to see this price continuing to rise. The market cap is 5.59 billion. I did bring this up in Cryptonaires at about maybe 12 cents. I think this is going to keep climbing personally. So keep an eye on it, all right? And then take a look at this. You have almost $1.4 billion in ETF demand already in that's like 7 to 8 weeks. 760 million XRP locked up. And this is yesterday's numbers. And then, of course, Ripple is ramping up its growth across Asia, Japan, identified as the cornerstone of the company's international strategy. The move underscores the region's importance as a hub for digital finance, innovation, and cross-border payment adoption. A lot of stuff happening in Korea. A lot of stuff's happening in Japan. Yeah, guys, I appreciate that. I'm never going to make everybody happy. I've accepted that. It is what it is. So I'm glad to have people like you, Peter. Like, thankful, man. I am thankful. Thank you, bro. So we got, what is it? Courtney here says, I have positive vibes on crypto. I'm in for the long haul. That is the way to think about it, Courtney. Love to hear that. We are on this journey together. Let's get it together. You got to be doing something right, Sensei. Nicole, great to see you. How was your New Year's, Nicole? You doing okay? So Funbro says, please educate us about the over-the-counter and dark pools. We hear it from all the people who make videos, but nobody cares to talk about it. And the information can be seen. So Funbro, there is no information to be seen. Okay. These OTC desks or dark pools, I mean, pretty much the same thing. They don't report how much XRP they have. And there's hundreds of these. I mean, there's dozens of big ones, but there are hundreds of them globally. It is impossible to get the information. Nobody knows. Okay. And so unless somebody has a direct connection with every single OTC desk in the planet, there really is no information. And I know that sucks. And I know that's not transparency, but that's where we are. All right. I have done, I have asked people that collect data on, exchange balances and everything. Nobody has a line on how much XRP is on OTC desks. And it is kind of in this gray area, and it sucks. And I get that, I agree with you. I want the information. I think it should be out there. Sonny says, keep up your great job, mate. You're doing great. Don't let others let you down. Sonny, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate all you guys, man. See, Brandon says, I'd be lost without you in the XRP world. I'm all in on XRP. Much love, brother, from Canada. Man, much love. I hope you have a fantastic 2026, Brandon. We're going to get there together. It's going to be great, man. It's going to be great. And man, I can't wait. I cannot wait for the day where something big happens and I get to come on stream, and the smile that you're going to see on my face will be ear to ear. and my jaw will probably be hurt. And I might injure myself from doing some kind of weird, funky dance. Like I tend to get, when I get overexcited, I'll do some like, crazy dance. And like I have bumped into things before and fallen over. So I'm looking forward to that, man. Let's see here. Justin says, since a Commissioner Crenshaw leaves the agency today, we should take a shot. Crenshaw. What agency does Crenshaw work at? I'm not familiar with the name. I do apologize. Let's see here. Bree and U5U says, I've turning in for years, best XRP commentator on YouTube. Thanks for sharing your passion, your knowledge. Man, that is huge. Thank you so much. Like it fills my heart with joy to hear people are learning and growing and they enjoy the content. Like, my team and we put so much into creating this amount of content. I mean, we're creating 110, 120 videos a month, 120 shorts. I mean, it takes a village of just truly dedicated people to get all of this out. And I couldn't do any of this without those people. People like Ariana, who moderates and keeps us safe. People like Cass and Lawrence and Tina, who do a lot of share the editing for me. My business development team at Neo Launch, Jay and Ben, like there are some truly just incredible people. There's the Cryptonaires people, my community people, Scott, Gabe. I mean, my family, there's so many people that make all of this possible. And I really appreciate them. There's Luna too. Can't forget about Luna. Can't forget about the SEALs. Family in Brazil too. Can't forget about any of them. Let's see here. So Tokenator, how can we, the usual mortar retailers, get into OTC negotiation? How much is needed? I think that's a great question. I don't have an answer for you. Let me see if we can find out that answer for you though. I think that's worth, how does one get an account? That is a very interesting question that I have never heard anybody ask me. So let's look. Many crypto OTC desks open accounts only for institutions or high net worth clients. What is a high net worth client? Client types. Many desks require you to institution fund enforce minimum ticket sizes around 50 to 100K equivalent or more for some preferred programs. Desks will ask you expected volumes, assets like Bitcoin, ETH, or XRP. Okay, there you go. Actually, I thought that's a little bit less than what I thought. So it looks like there's some exchanges here. Platforms such as Crypto.com OTC offer an in-app OTC services once you pass enhanced KYC and sometimes meet volume and minimum requirements. So it does look like the average mortal can do it. You just need to have, 50K, 100K, minimum buys. It sounds like, which is out. It's a lot of money for a lot of people, right? And hopefully one day we'll be there. We'll have accounts at OTC desks because we'll have so much money in XRP and other assets that we love. Let's see. So Caroline Crenshaw is Democratic commissioner in the SEC. She retired today. She hates XRP. Her and Gensler were the worst. Wow. Well, I'm glad she's gone then, right? If that's the case. Oh, so Glenn says he talked to Uphold reps directly and they told him 200K and up. There you go. And right now this might be completely out of reach for somebody, right? But in the future, it might not be. And this is really good information to have. So Glenn, thank you so much for sharing that, man. Appreciate you. Jordan, mega late. You're good, man. We've been talking about the market, a lot of really interesting questions, a lot of Happy New Year stuff. We addressed the Claver stuff really early on the stream if you want to listen to that. We're just trying to have a good time, vibe, and learn from each other, man. A lot of good conversation today about OTC desks and other things. What famous person would be good to endorse crypto? That is a great question. Who would you trust? I think somebody that I would like to see, out in front. I mean, The Rock. I think that would be a cool person to, you know, if he owned XRP or something, that would be cool. John Cena, he's a riot. He owns XRP, I think. So, you know, some people like that, people that people look up to, respect. You know, there's a lot of actors and actresses in the world that people would like to maybe talk about it. But you know, who's important to you, man? You know, the Winter Bee, who's important to you? Who would you like to see? Luna did not make a cameo yet. Yeah. She's sleeping. She's had a hard few days with the fireworks, but I'll make sure she makes a cameo. I'm waiting for her to wake back up. When she wakes up and walks to the thing and stares at me, I'll grab her. Yeah, so I don't know 100%, but here, check it out. Let me see if he's still following me. Hold on. Was it Cena? Yeah, here, look, John Cena follows me. So I don't know if that was a misclick or he owns XRP. I don't know, but I think he does own XRP. Dave Chappelle. Oh my God. I haven't watched any of his new stuff, man, but I grew up on Dave Chappelle. That guy is just, that was probably the funniest person of my childhood, you know, the Chappelle Show. That was by far one of the funniest things. I don't know about Mel Gibson, man. I don't know about Mel Gibson. John Cena holds XRP confirmed. Alex says it's confirmed. John Cena has big hands. Well, he's a wrestler, and now he's you know, he's a great actor, man. Clint Eastwood, is Clint Eastwood, is he like, he's got to be close to 100 now, right? Keanu Reeves, yes. Lewis, yes, exactly. By far, one of my favorite actors of all time is Keanu Reeves. Just like to see him on, you know, like the star, and then seeing what he does when he's not in front of people, the things that he's done. Man, that guy, truly incredible. Brad Pitt, absolutely. Arnold, man, we're getting some really good ones, man. Keanu Reeves is probably by far my favorite. I just, you know, he's a little older now, so we're not getting as many what's it called, movies. What we get was the ballerina, John Wick. John Wick is my favorite, you know, for what is 4 movies? I don't know. Movie franchise. My favorite movie franchise of, like, so good. Matthew McConaughey. Hey, yeah, that'd be a good one. No, I'm definitely not a celebrity. No. John Wick style endorsement. Yeah. I like, that would be that. I think that would make my year, man. That would make my year. Yeah, Keanu Reeves is probably one of the best. Yeah, Tom Holland, Spider-Man. That'd be a cool one. Man, you guys got some really good suggestions. XRP is now 203. We're on it. We are on it. Sylvester Stallone. Dude, the car chases are so good. The exploding shotgun shells in the last one was like insane, you know. And then they did the overhead camera in the rooms, and he's going room to room. Oh man, you just cannot beat that. Oh, Dave, man, I appreciate you. You know, I've been recognized out in the wild 4 times, and it's a unique experience when somebody recognizes you on the street. And you know, I always don't know what to say, but you know, thank you, nice to meet you. I'm still waiting for someone to be like, let's take a photo, you know. Vin Diesel, that's an interesting one. Jake from State Farm. Woodchuck, you were wild. You were wild. Elon Musk's brother is Bearable Guy. Is that true? Richard, what's up, dude? Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is a good one too. You know, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney bought Wrexham, years ago, and they turned that football program around, man. And it's a lot of fun to watch. I don't know if you guys watch the show on Hulu, but that's an inspiring show, man. That is an inspiring show. Caitlin Clark. Why does that sound familiar? Daniel Day-Lewis, hands down. That's a good one. Yeah, I think it's called Mint Mobile. Ryan Reynolds, Mint Mobile is what it's called. I am from California, but I live in Hawaii. I've lived in Hawaii 14 years of my life. Most of my adult life I've lived in Hawaii. Joe, predictions are only as good as your toilet paper, man. Most of them wind up in the trash or in the toilet, man. So we'll leave the predictions to the bigger names in the space, I guess you'd say. I think people have had enough with predictions. Let's focus on the news. Let's focus on the things that we can actually see and touch and feel. And however this is going to work out, it's going to work out, right? And it might not work out. Like, what is it from Ted Lasso, right? It is going to work out. It might not work out how you think it will or how you want it to work out, but it's going to work out, right? Do I surf? I do not surf, man. I do not surf. I would drown very quickly out there. There's some really talented, fit people, and I am not one of those really talented and fit people. So I'll leave that to those people, man. Denzel Washington. Yeah. You know what I watched recently? Training Day. I watched that again. I saw a clip on YouTube about Training Day and I was like, oh man, this movie is so good. I went back and I watched it and oh man, just blown away. He just takes it to a whole new level, man. Pee Wee Herman, you guys are wild. Removing your shorts. What's up, Scott? So David Schwartz's new tweet. Let's go take a look at that, Scott. Let's go take a look at that, man. Let's see here. Oh, I think this is talking about like people are using Grok to do weird stuff. He's got an XRP belt. That's so gangster. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen that tweet. I'll look for it. Wait, randomly, isn't the new like Game of Thrones series coming out soon, like a few weeks? I'm looking forward to watching that. That belt though is fire. The belt is fire. I spent some time on Etsy recently and I bought a bunch of like random knickknacks, XRP knickknacks. I got some, I was going to call this a toaster, but it's not a toaster. Oh my God. Coaster. Man, I can't even think. I bought a few things. And then I got this, my wife bought me that little XRP thing in there. Chris Farley, man, I haven't heard that name in a long time. That dude was so funny, man. An XRP Super Bowl commercial would really get it done. So, for the last few Super Bowls, they haven't allowed crypto companies because of the FTX thing, right? So I don't know if that's now revised, but I don't know if that's still toaster, coaster, whatever. You know what I meant. Yeah, I know. Landman's a show though, right? Not a movie. Landman's a TV show on Paramount. I started watching Spartacus, House of Usher, the spinoff of Spartacus. That's a pretty good show. Yeah, Landman's pretty good. A lot of really good people in it this season. I got an XRP keyring. I got an XR on my key fob. Yep. Yeah, I also like what did my wife get me? She got me here. Hold on. So when you play poker, you know, Texas Hold'em, you get dealt cards, and you have them in front of you, and you usually have something that goes on the cards. And so my wife got me, she could have done the CS for Crypto Sensei, but she got me my real initials. So for a card holder, which I thought was kind of cool. I could use this. This would be a freaking cool card holder. But anyway. Mayor of Kingstown, yeah, that's good too. I haven't finished the last episode. But that's a really good show too. Did you talk about the DTCC hiring someone proficient in Solana? No, I didn't see that news, but I'd imagine that's probably smart thing to do. They're going to be connected to all the chains, man. All the chains. Love the baby seal. Yeah. I got a lot of seals. Yeah, Solana, XLM. Yeah. Eastbound and Down. Yeah, that's a good show. That was over a long time ago, though. North Shore. Yeah. Elizabeth Warren. She's not going to be a spokesperson for XRP, man. Yeah, no. I think we lost that one. Let's see. There's a few other things I wanted to show you. Oh yeah, here's another clip too. Here's the CEO of Franklin Templeton on stage. What does blockchain do well? I thought that was a good clip. Let's play this.
So let me talk about blockchain, because I am very fired up by the opportunities. I think AI gets a lot of coverage, and blockchain is still a bit of, you either believe it or you don't, and it's all that crypto thing, and I think that misses a bit of the story. So as I mentioned, the thing with the challenge in technology is this managing the data.
Yeah.
What blockchain does is it's basically a technology that does three things really well. It has an immutable source of truth. So if I own a token, I have all rights to that token. It has the ability to execute a smart contract. So whatever those rights are, they get programmed in. So if I'm doing a foreign exchange contract with somebody, and if certain triggers hit, I can execute, the smart contract will execute itself and go collect the collateral without anybody being involved. And then finally, it has a payment mechanism. So I can pay immediately when that transaction happens. If you look at the world today, we have all these intermediaries. Banks are big intermediaries. If Franklin Templeton is going to do a foreign exchange contract with somebody else, we'll go to HSBC and say, you're going to be our counterparty, and you go deal with the other, collecting the money from the other customer. If you have what's called atomic settlement, where it settles immediately, you actually don't need that intermediary.
All right, guys, you're going to have to do me a favor here. Tomorrow, I got an important video that's coming out. I worked on it on New Year's Day for several hours. It's about tokenization. It'll really help people understand the benefits, the timeline, why it's happening. A lot of things go into that video. So if you guys see that video tomorrow, please, if you can like that video, leave a comment on that video. I'd really appreciate it, because some of the stuff, it takes a while to put together. And that was one I really put a lot of detail in to make sure that you guys got the full understanding of all of that. Yeah, XRP back above $2 today. Absolutely, man. Have a good night, Deep Dave. Thank you for being here, man. Appreciate you. Oh, Luna's awake. You guys want to see Luna? Here, I'll get her. Hold on. Come here. Come on, Bubs. You okay? All right. Yeah, what are you doing? You okay? You want to say hi to people? Wish them a happy new year? What are we doing? You want to smell my hand? You see everybody? You want to say hello? You okay? Did you have a good nap? Yes. Oh, there we go. Oh, yes. Luna wanted to say hi. Oh, where are we going here? Where are we going, huh? We like a good ear scratch. Yes, we like a good ear scratch. All right. All right. I'm going to finish up here, okay? All right. Go lay back in your bed, okay? All right. Uh-oh. Now we're like staring at me hard. Paul, are we betting on the Niners tomorrow, Paul? That's going to be a tough game, Paul. We got to win it, though. We got bad defense, but our offense is so strong. I'm thinking the over, hopefully. How many XRP for Luna? Luna is priceless, man. I wouldn't trade 1 million XRP for Luna. Priceless. How many touchdowns will Kittles get? Hopefully, man. I mean, if Purdy shows up, man, we're gonna get there. Let's see here, Mr. Fernandez. Thank you for your daily hard work to keep us with the newest updates. Greetings from Barcelona. Well, hey, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for checking in from Barcelona. I heard it's a beautiful city, man. I can't wait to visit one day. Nicole has 5 cats. All right. Yeah, dog. I like dogs more than cats, but you know, I get it. We're all animal lovers. Luna is she'll be 6 this year. Yeah, she's gonna be 6 this year. Nice haircut. Oh, I appreciate that. I look 25. Oh man, I'll take that. You keep talking. I appreciate that. Herd of cats. My brother has cats. He likes cats. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to probably end here today. I just wanted to get on, address some of the stuff that's going on, talk about some news, just spend some time with you guys, try to answer some of your questions. I really appreciate you. I hope you each and every one of you guys have a great weekend. Thank you for your questions and just sharing your thoughts. And I always enjoy these conversations where we can just get up here and kind of go back and forth. Go Niners, go Bears this weekend. And I just wish all of you the very best. And thank you for supporting this channel. And thank you for your time and your honesty and all your love, guys. Really appreciate you. All right. All right, guys. I will see you next time. I'll see you on Tuesday. All right. Have a good weekend.